Hello, this is Mr. Rio. I'm making this tutorial, kind of testing things out here with a new software called Snagit. Of course, I'm new to the Windows Lab this year, so I'm trying to learn how to make tutorials on the Windows computer because I have a lot of tutorials I made on all these topics on a Mac, which looks a little bit different. So right now, what I'm doing here is for Packet 4, we went over this in class. There's a handout in class, but I want to explain what we did for anyone that may not have been here in class and needs to make it up. First of all, you'll need the handout probably because you don't want to just look at this here. I didn't put a PDF out there because I don't want people using it to try to cheat somehow. So I want people to type it up. So what we did in class, we did this over multiple days. So it isn't like we just sat and typed it all up in one day. But Packet 4 is a combination. First of all, it's an assignment. It's an important assignment worth a lot of points. And second of all, it's also the review for the word test, which we took on Friday, but some of you were absent and still need to do that. What we have here is the first section. We talked about some general things. Now, these original notes were made for the Mac version, so I modified them a bit for the Windows version. Also, when we went through each of these items here, we oftentimes did things. We didn't just rush to type it. We actually made some things. So for the views, for example, they may not always be underneath, the same tabs. So we went to for example, to the view toolbar up here, and you could see views. We talked about the print layout view, which is a main one we use, 99 or more percent of the time. They also have a web layout view. I'm not going to go through all these like I did in class. You can click on them yourself and take a look. And then we, went through and like made some of the text bolder or underlined some things and change colors and, have fun with it, make it your own, make it so you're studying it and understand it and know all this stuff. We reviewed things like the tab stops, left, center, right, and decimal. We covered that a lot back on the regular packet assignments. Went over date and time, which you can find on the insert toolbar way over on the right here. It's right there, date and time. It brings up a whole bunch of formats for different dates and time formats. Some have both date and time. By default, it'll put in the current date or time, and you can edit it or leave it. If you want it to update every time you open up the document to whatever that day is that you open it, you can click a little box there and hit OK. The highlight tool. It's right up here in the home toolbar. This section called font right here has all kinds of things relating to fonts. The highlight tools are right there. It looks just like a highlighter, like you'd have a yellow highlighter, or in this one you have a blue one, a green one, a pink one, whatever. And what we did with that was we put that in our notes and we used a couple colors and highlighted some of the items. Font color, we did something similar except with the one next to it, which is font colors. Beside the font colors here, you can go to more colors. You can click on, like, say you want some, greenish color, and then it brings up a spectrum. You can slide this up and down to get the exact green that you want, and then hit OK. And then we, may change some colors around on there. Tables, we already did other assignments where we made tables. We'll make a table at the end of this one, but, we talked about it. That's under Insert right there, table. And then we usually use the one that says Insert Table that brings up this here, and you have to decide how many rows and columns you want. Commonly, we do like 6 and 3, which we'll do at the end. We have word art, which is also on Insert way over here. Got a bunch of pre-made word arts. You select one, type in some text. Also very similar to that is if you're here and you got some text selected, I'll do the general commands right there. You can go here under what they technically call pretty much about the same thing. You can pick one of these here, pre-made, and you can add other features like drop shadows and glows and all kinds of stuff to it. So I'll pick one of these right here and click it and show you how that works. Page ruler is this thing right here where you got the, it's got 1, 2, 3. Now I'm in a view down here of 228%. There's a slider down here at the bottom. You may be in a smaller view. I'm going to bring this view down just a little bit. Okay. And you can adjust the view there. If you do not see a ruler, if you were not here the 3 or 4 or 5 or 8 times I went over this in class, you can go up here to layout. Or is it layout? Might be design. Oh, view. Sorry, it's on view. For view, and then there's ruler right there. We did have to go there and hit a checkbox. Okay, in case you missed that. Okay, here we talked about the help features. They do have help features here. You can do searches. Typically, click on the first one, and then type in whatever it is information you're looking for, like how to do a word art or something. Do a search. And then, of course, how to close. Now, up here at the top, you can hit the X there and close out, or you can go here to the File menu and go to Close Here. Well, I found the main difference was if you do Close Here, it'll close out your document, but not Microsoft Word. If you go to the up here in the X, it'll close your document and quit Microsoft Word. So it depends a lot what you want to do. I'm not going to go over like I just did in the first section all these, but they're pretty self-explanatory. Now this says the File menu. Of course, not all these are on the File menu here. You got some of them, New, Open, Save a Copy, and Save As are pretty much the same thing. Print, Export, Close. So you got a number of them there. Page Setup is kind of hidden in here. Let's see here. You might have to go to... Let's see, layout, we got margins. Is pretty much this whole section is called page setup. So you got columns and margins and size and orientation. Do you want it, portrait or landscape, up and down or sideways? Margins, we do 1-inch margins all the way around. That's our default. And you can add page breaks we talk about later in here. Page break will allow, like, say I wanted to break right there so that the next section starts at the top of the next page. So you can put a page break in to do that. So yeah, I dropped the word menu. If you got the handout, it might say menu, because not all these are neatly located on a menu. On the Mac version, they had neat menus up above that had all these above the toolbars. Editing, cut, copy, paste, select all. I have the keyboard shortcuts in here because on Windows, that's how most people do it. We talked about the views already. Insert. That'd be the insert toolbar. There's all kinds of stuff on there. I'm not going to go over them all right now. Pictures, insert a picture, shape. Shapes are right here. We did a lot with these. We did the lines. We did all those back when we did the drawing. We did the rectangles. We did some basic shapes, including the oval and the triangle. And the oval can be turned into a perfect circle by holding down the shift key. When you click on oval, go to drag your oval, except hold down the shift key and you'll get a perfect circle. If you do the rectangle and you hold down the shift key and drag it, you'll get a perfect square. You got block arrows. We use the callouts, or like little text boxes with little lines on them for when we did the computer drawing. So we use this a lot. So there's word arts down here on insert, and there's text box. We usually use just the first one. You can add page numbering to pages. There's header and footer right there. Drop cap is over here. These are all in date and time. These are all things that we used and talked about. Okay. And you can add a hyperlink. Caption, you can just do a right click. That'd be on a photo. You say you insert a photo and you want to add a caption. Just do a right click. There's an option. Menu will pop up. Insert caption. So I'm just kind of going over these quickly. Formatting, you got your fonts. Go back to the home toolbar right there. Paragraph, this is really important. Beside the features that are here, like bullets and alignment, left, center, right, and line spacing, you got all that right here in the paragraph. You can do the alignments like left, center, right. We use over here in Special quite a lot the first line indent. In my class, when I do first line indent, I usually do a 0.3. Okay. Got line spacing. We usually do either single or 1.5 is quite common. This here, you only use this indent over here if you're doing the entire paragraph, which we don't do very often. We did a few of those. This we did not use at all, the before and after spacing. Actually, we removed it from the defaults for the line spacing. And then, of course, remember tabs are hidden down here. If you want to go to set the tabs and then hit OK. So this is real important to know, this whole paragraph area right here. And then you click on there and you get to see I call it the paragraph dialog box. Fonts, beside all the features here, you make it bigger. You got this one here. You know, say you type something in lowercase and you're supposed to be in uppercase. Instead of retyping it, just highlight it, pull this menu down, select uppercase. It'll make all the text in the uppercase. You know, we got your colors, your highlighters, your effects. Subscript and superscript you use in, like, you know, chemistry and math and stuff like that. You got some strike through if you want to make something look crossed out. You got your normal underline, italic, and bold, and so forth. Okay? So, again, you can go through this and, you know, look at it. There's printing. Save and save as. Make sure you know that real well. Save as always makes a copy. And sometimes it may say save a copy, save as, same thing. So remember that once you save a document, the first time you save, you literally can go to either one. It'll do the same thing. You got to pick a name, where you want to save it, and so forth. Once it's saved, there's a huge difference. Save will update whatever you're doing. Like, say you open a document from yesterday, you type another paragraph or two, you hit save, you know, that will update your save. If it's in OneDrive, it's probably an auto save up here, so often you don't have to think about that. Save as is when you want to copy. We do that before we submit. We make a save as. We do a PDF and do that. Let me do that right now while I'm thinking of it. Say I want this here to be a PDF on my desktop so I can easily submit it to Google Classroom. Okay, I go here to File. Mine says Save a Copy. Now I select OneDrive. Here's what I made. My packet 4, I put B on for second block. I have A, B, and C for my 3 blocks. Now right now this says Word document. That's not what I want. I want a PDF to submit it. Okay? So I pull this down. I select PDF. So I'm making a copy. It's not going to hurt the original at all. Now where do I want to put it? I don't want it in my OneDrive. This is all OneDrive stuff. So I'm going to click this little More Options right there. And I'm going to go to Desktop. If you don't see desktop there for some reason, click on this PC and then click desktop. Now, if you have a folder you want to put it in there, great. So open it. If not, just leave it in the open. Hit save, and you now have made. Now, it may open up a reader. It did that for me here. You may not see it in this tutorial. It popped open a little PDF reader, but I just close that out, and I now have made my PDF version there. Editing. Again, you got cut, copy, paste, select all, a few other things on here. Undo, and that's up here. You got this backward arrow. If you undid something, then you'll see a forward arrow. That's to redo the undo. So if you undo it and change your mind, you can click and change that. Views we talked about. We mainly use the print layout. Know that. Insert we pretty much reviewed. And you can insert all kinds of stuff. Feels like I almost did that twice. Well, maybe it's been scrolling up and down. Okay, formatting. We've covered a lot of this here. One thing I haven't talked about yet is if you go to Design and go way over on the right, you'll see Page Color. You can click that and pick a color for your background of your page. I don't want one. I got Page Borders. Now, Page Borders will bring up this box right here. This here gives you different options to put borders around your pages. Right now it's set for none, but say I click down there and I can pick a line style here. Maybe I want this one, and you can pick a color if you wanted to. Say I wanted it blue, and so on. Then the one I always say don't use in my classes is the one that's all these art pieces. We don't do that. Then if you clicked OK, it would put a border on here. You're not required to put a border on here, so I'm going to undo that by clicking undo. Another thing over here is called a watermark. See this thing here? It says Mr. Rio real big on mine. That's a watermark. So you can click here. They got pre-made ones like confidential and that. And then they got something called custom watermark. Go down to that. It says custom watermark. It's going to bring up this here. By default, it says no watermark. They have picture watermarks, so we're not going to do those. And then they got text. Then you put the text you want, like your name, and the font, color. They got options. You want diagonal or horizontal. I have mine diagonal. yeah, I think that's pretty straightforward there. Then I'm going to hit OK or apply. And there it is. I got my watermark. Yep. So then down here, this here, I'm going to show you how to insert a table. I'm not going to retype all this right now for you. But this is a 3-row by 6-column table. And we made this in class. So as part of this assignment, you're supposed to make one of these. So all you do here is go to Insert, Table, go down to, let's see, what's this? Insert Table. Make it a 1, 2, 3. You need 6 columns, 3 rows. Hit OK. Okay, now that stuck it way up here. I'm going to undo that. Once it's in, it's going to be blank. Okay, I don't know, some other stuff here when I was playing around doing some editing for you guys. Take some of that out. Okay, go back down here. I'm going to pretend it just inserted here. Then you put in this information, first block, second block. Notice how we skipped that one. Up to 5th block, your teacher and your class. And then you type those in. You can make them up. I'm not going to check it. Then with this selected, you can click on this little pop-up thing here and double-click on it, or double-click on the border may work. You get this special toolbar up here. And you can do a lot of custom editing here, or use one of these pre-made layouts. So what we did is we clicked through these and saw what these look like. So maybe you want to try that one. Got a little blue on it. This one's a little kind of an orangish, and so on. So they got all these pre-made layouts here. I'm going to deselect so you can see what it looks like. And it's a quick way to, and you can get to that by double clicking in this corner here where the little box comes up until that table comes up like that. Okay. So that's pretty simple. Then this here, we just inserted 3 of our shapes. We filled them. We overlapped them so we can see the order they're in. We put a text box on top of it. We wrote the word group in it. And we just experimented with, the fact that you can select these. You can go up to, like, if you double click on the border of it, it'll bring up this format toolbar. You can go to, like, send backwards and send it backwards. You can bring it back forwards. There's bring forward. You can group it by holding down the shift key and click on each of these. So you select all of them. And then you go up here to something called group, way up there. Click group. It turns all of them into one graphic. So now you can move it around as one graphic. Whoop, I somehow undid that. Okay. But either way, that's just a little quick review of grouping and inserting objects. And a lot of times to see the toolbar you want up here, you need to double click. So you double click and it's like, oh, okay, there it is right there. Can I group? Oh, now I can ungroup it. So I'm going to ungroup it, deselect, and now they're back separate. I can move them around or re-edit it, and so forth. Okay, that's all we do after this. Okay, now notice I put here, I do want you to finish the notes for G, H, and I. Even though they're not written here, I want you to finish those. They're short. Once you get done through I, make this table right here really simple. Make a few objects here and some fills on them and a text box and call it group. And then that's it. You might say, well, there's a bunch of other stuff after this in the packet, Mr. Rio, some other notes and this and that. We're not doing any of it. Okay, if you want to look it over, but you don't have to do anything beyond this. So do all these sections here. I do want you to format. I want you to have some fun with this. Add some colors and shapes and effects and highlights and things like that, and fix it up a bit. And focus on what you need to learn here and what you need to know. After you get these notes in here, I renamed G Review, okay, because it's on a review toolbar right there, okay? So when you look that over, it'll make some sense when you take a look at that. Got help, which is, there's a few notes on that, and there's windows. Make this, and that'll be it. We did put a page number in the bottom. I was demonstrating that. If you want to give it a try, go to Insert. Go over here. There should be a page number. There it is right there. You can pick if you want at the top of the page or bottom of the page, and if you want in the middle, left, center, whatever, and it'll automatically number your pages for you. Okay, that's just a really quick overview for those that were absent from in-class lessons. It's not everything we did, but it's close enough. You should be able to do a good job based on what I just covered here. So good luck with your assignments. Get them in. If not before spring break, get this one in right after spring break if you want to get any credit for it. So good luck.